Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or other games, or help them as well, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month to get the newest version. Hyena. So, on the last Let's Play, restarted the game and went toward Murdock's route, the fox. At which point he's like, so, I'm gonna make a bet. I'm gonna make you a woo before you make me a woo, and if I do that, then I guess it was free? Because we're prostitutes. Or if we got him to a woo first, we got like a week or a month's rent, quite a bit of money. But we failed to take into account that Murdock is a fox, so he has experience with a wooing. And yeah, I think we just woke up from a wooing. So let's reset my face. It's actually pretty good. It's barely daylight when I open my eyes, but the golden light is flooding into the room all the same. Murdock's tangled up with me. His arms are wrapped around my chest, and his tail is curled around my legs, keeping me connected with him. Somehow, our little night of passion positioned me on the side of the bed, facing the fox's camera. My hands are on it before I know it, touching each piece, feeling its hooks, buttons, and latches. One of them swings loose beneath my thumb. There's a soft clicking sound as the bag tries to open. I stiffen and hold it shut. The heavy breathing of the fox against me lets me know he's still asleep. I think about pictures, remembering how the film has to be taken out in a special room, or else all of the pictures get ruined. When I think about what the fox said the other day, these pictures are probably useless. But what if they aren't? I swallow my own spit and lift my digit from the back of the camera. It opens again with a soft click again. I hook two claws inside and pull, tugging at what feels like a spool of thread. I can't see it without getting up, but I know that the light of the window should be flooding the inside of the little box. Murdock's breathing still hasn't changed, thankfully. If I find the latch that I had moved before and fumble with it until I hear it click back into place, and feel the back of the camera shut securely. Smart whores live longer. Ain't that what you said, William? Murdock's snout leans against the side of my neck and buries itself there. I hope for a second that the film I just ruined weren't too expensive, but when I remember that I owe this cock a week's salary that I ain't got, I feel less bad. Oh, okay, so it wasn't free. I owe him a week's salary. It do be like that sometimes. But Sam, it's like, you're a prostitute. One would have to hope/suspect that you would be good at holding back your, orgasm now that it's past the first minute mark. One would, and he's a fox, and like, maybe he's like a fox-ass fox, kind of like in the furry fandom, but still, it's like, come on. I would have given you one hell of a leg up on him, because you've done William, you've probably done, no wait, you haven't done, who's the other guy? Cliff. I don't think you've done Murdock, but you have done Nick, I believe. And you've probably done a couple of other guys, so you should be good at not, coming. Anyways, feels like living is the only thing that separates my from the abyss that's waiting for me. Okay, that's a typo. So I do what I need to do to suck on the air a little while longer. Now sometimes I read these things and it's like, this is a typo, and then I reread it after the fact, and it's like, okay, that actually does sound... Feels like living is the only thing that separates me. Yeah. I would have thought that they would have massaged that typo out, Anyways, because, Murdock's route has been out for a while, at least the beginning of it. I don't particularly want to face today, knowing that I had lost Murdock's bet. But at least he's soft. I closed my eyes for a spell. I thought we had a choice of ruining the camera again, or not. Then I feel myself opening them again. My body is warm and my brain feels foggy. Beams of light shine through the wooden slats of the windows, revealing dust motes and causing my chest fur to shine. Murdock is half dressed, leaning against the wall by the window, staring outside. I wrestle with the covers, and his ears flick. He turns to me, then speaks in a low voice, close to a whisper. "Good morning, Sam. The rot's gone. At least for now. Oh, riot." I wipe some of the dried spit from the side of my mouth and lift my arms into a stretch. William keeps things clean. The fox turns around again, his paw trailing the edges of my curtains as he peeks through the slats and hums. For now, perhaps, but remind me. Murdock swivels on the balls of his feet and saunters towards me. He crouches beneath the bed, brings out a wet rag and squeezes it. The sound of the water hits the bottom of the metal pail I can't see. I asked one of the girls to bring some water so we could freshen up. He stiffens or sniffs the rag. Orange, that's nice. Don't know if they should call it that. You're orange as hell, and you reek. I can't help but smile at my own dumb joke. You're right. I do smell like you. We'll have to do me next. Arms up. He comes closer, but I swat him away. Excuse me, what do you think you're doing? We can't go outside smelling like each other. Of course we can't, but I've washed myself all my life. Not an infant. Hey! A puff of air out of my nostrils as the wet, scented rag presses deep into my sides. He's going to my underarm first, using both of his hands. I close my eyes, easing into the scrubbing noises. He lifts my other arm, and I can feel his whiskers close to my skin as he washes me, leaving the skin beneath my fur cool, feeling crisp. Now he moves my chest, then my belly, then lower. I tense as he applies warm water to my balls, washing the underside of them with a rag over his cut paw. It hurts to get hard again this soon after a night like that. After waking up with morning wood, but thankfully it doesn't linger anywhere for too long. He washes the outside of my sheath with soap and the citrus water, then quickly pulls back to get inside. Ooh. The job is quick and thorough, a bit different from all the slow and sloppy teasing he did last night. He washes the rag again, wrings the water out, then brings it close to my... Now hold on. The fox gives me a look. You put your tongue in mine last night. I did, and that was you, but this is me. There's no need to fuss. Hygiene is important for any circumstance. You'll feel better throughout the day. Fine, do it. I grit my teeth as he swabs me, sending shivers up my spine. The rag doesn't feel that different from a tongue. So wait, he's rubbing my buttocks or something? I'm not doing you, though. Murdock avoids my gaze. Took care of that before you got up. Had to go to the outhouse before the sun came up. I don't ever remember him leaving the room, but the pail and the water had to come from somewhere. I need you to get my back, Sam. Fine. He sits in front of me, curling his thick tail, to get out of my way. I take the rag from his paw and start to scrub, getting his fur damp and shiny as I rub the water into his skin and wash away what's left of the previous night as best I can. The muscles on his back and shoulders shift as he lets out a sigh. The fronts too, please. He guides my wrist to the top of his waist, where his fur is coarser than the rest. I scrub small circles in the same way he did to my back. Wait, he did my back. He leans into me, and I see the slow curl of a smile play up his features. My parents are usually smaller than me. This feels nice. Or partners. I was like, wait, why parents? Plenty of folks bigger than me around here. I'm more used to musicians, clerks, the occasional accountant. It's nice to be with somebody who knows how to use all of their body. You've got strong legs and shoulders. Got those from lifting boxes and moving equipment, running to and fro, often the same routes and the same paths, every day. But at least I get to see things in the new context every day. Funny thing about taking pictures of the same places, they're never the same. And people never stay put themselves either. Everybody keeps becoming different. They're always changing, even after you blink. It happens so suddenly that most don't notice. Sometimes I think you can only catch it in the rapid repetition of many photographs. I guess most folks would start to notice those things if they worked with photography all the time. Murdock shakes his head. Usually, when you're sorting through the products of a shoot, you're going through to look through as many shots as fast as you can. Strategically, you'd select the ones that are most flattering to your customers. But I tend to get a little too lost in the weeds, so to speak. The entire shoot, from beginning to end, interests me, not just the most appealing pictures. There's an art to the passage of time that pictures can capture in ways drawings can't. Some folks refuse to have their photo taken because they believe that the picture can steal a person's soul. I begin to wonder if this man prays. You believe in souls, Murdock? The terrible migraine feeling is back. Before me, the fox's expression changed. He looks broken, full of worry and fear, his lower jaw trembling. But it's gone as soon as it arrived. Murdock's eyes are closed, and his sunny, soft smile curls a little tighter as he leans back on me, happy and content. Souls? Well, yes. But I don't believe a photograph could steal a soul and keep them prisoner. But there's no doubt in my mind that photography can show us things that the eye cannot catch. Memory is unreliable, but notes and photographs generally catalog the truth, as best as we can interpret it. The fox pulls a thick wallet from his pocket. He pulls what looks like a packet of matches until I can make out that it's just a stack of small papers bound together. He opens one of the papers. They reveal a moon with the eyes and mouth. So a tarot card deck? Definitely. He bends the pages and starts flipping through them. The moon's smile widens as their expression changes, as if she's right in front of me. What is this strange New Age technology or magic? You call it a flip book? The spaceship appears in front of her and crashes into the side of her head. Little pilgrims in fancy clothes populate her surface until monsters with spears appear chasing them. Photographs can bring life some of the most interesting lies too, when they're put out of order and placed in convenient places. The light of the room shifts from the dusky gold to a clear brightness. Damn, we're really running out of time together. So he'll be leaving. And expecting payment. Fairly soon, yes. So, regarding our arrangement, here it comes. You don't really have the money to pay me, do you, Sam? Damn, that came out of nowhere. So what are we going to be doing for him? Free sex or free labor? My ears flick back, and my brow furrows. Now, what makes you say that? There's really no reason that he should know what I don't have, that I don't have the money to pay him. Before you woke up, I looked in your vanity for a brush to get the clumps out of my fur. Come to think of it, he was awake for God knows how long when I was sleeping. He could have done anything here while I was asleep. Though it makes sense to look there when I stumbled across your wallet, snooping around, messing with my things. I remembered that you said you needed the money. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I did peek. You're utterly broke. And he keeps bringing up William. They work together pretty often, don't they? If he could smell William, maybe he can smell old blood too. Maybe William asked the fox to prod me for information, just like how he asked me to look into the miners. A dark thought crosses my mind as I stare at my hands, still touching his shoulders. That's part of why I was a little hesitant to make the bet in the first place. I could easily wrap my hands around his neck entirely. It probably wouldn't be very difficult. But you and your friend egged me on. Almost felt like you were getting a rise out of the gamble. Do you have a problem with gambling? To snap it. The fluff on his neck makes it seem thicker than it really is. Already have to face eternal punishment for killing one man. But then if I kill him, then I have to kill everyone in the saloon, but then they'll find out about the saloon, and then I'll have to kill everybody in town. But then they'll be like, hey, why does the town only have one guy in it? And then we're gonna have to kill everyone in the world. Anyways, what's another? You wouldn't be able to feed yourself if you paid me as you went. I'd be strong enough to break his neck, pretty clean-like. I don't want or need any money. I just want to prove a point. I flinch back to reality. Out of the fantasies of murdering him. And what sort of point is that exactly? That you should strike a balance between your work and your life. You should work to live, not the other way around. But that's not what capitalism is about. You don't think I know that? The fur on my back bristles. Saying you don't need money isn't just ridiculous, it's downright suspicious. Don't preach to me about living. Every soul needs money to live. That's the bottom line. Then work for me if whoring isn't enough. For you? Doing what? And for how much? General odds and ends. I have to admit something to you, Sam. My family runs me ragged. You're one of the strongest looking men I've seen in a long while. And you're, well, like me, so to speak. I need help. I can't give you anything permanent immediately, but we could both gain something from it. I could make sure it's a comfy supplement. I don't really need much. Murdock gets out of his bed and begins to dress himself. $7 weekly, if you show up and can do the work. Okay, I'm sorry. One sec. I have this thing where I'm like, what would that much money be today? So yeah, I'm looking up an inflation counter. 1915 is when the game is set in. 1915 and $7. And let's just say December, because reasons. That would be $208. Ain't the worst. How much would that be yearly? 208, and let's put it 9 times 52. Okay, yeah, it's not a lot of money. I was doing it by 52 days a year. Yeah, it ain't a lot. Sorry. But it do be like that. You would have thought $7 would be a lot of money. I sit and process that. That alone would double my income. But you guys really aren't paid a lot. I mean, I know that times be tough and stuff like that, but you know, one would think that... I don't know. I guess things might be cheap out here, ish, or you don't buy a lot. It feels a little too good to be true, though I guess he gets free board, maybe. My bottom line is that I have people who I can't disappoint. Help me do that, and I'll help you build your savings. Well, I don't really know what to say. You could start with thank you. Also, sorry for going on a tangent, but like, what happens in this universe when you do other people's routes? Because Cliff goes off on his adventure to the settlements. I can't remember if that's in Murdock's routes. I mean, Willem's route. Is it gonna go off a while for us or what? Though these could always be different universes where different things happen. No. The fox amuses with his fur, looking into the vanity mirror, and gives himself a disapproving look. It would be best to wait for me to leave as opposed to arriving at work with me. Slip out near noon. Red General Store is the right place. The fox smoothed down the fabric and he adjusts his tie. Well, I suppose I'll see you in a few hours if you decide that you're interested. Thank you for giving me a chance. I hope you allow me to give you one too. I sit by myself in the room for a while. It's a lot of money to offer. Not really. It was a week. And it would mean that I'd be seeing him during the day, in public. A proper job, with proper work, in the daylight. I want to do goddamn cartwheels! I lift my hands, when to shout, when to bounce, as I thank God above for this. I want to cry tears of joy. I daydream about hopping onto my vanity, kicking the glass, and just shattering it into pieces as I sing a jaunty tune. Okay, that's weird, but you do you, buddy. But then I look at my hands. I really could have broken his neck. Shame washes over me as I place him in my lap. Cynthia would tease me for behaving this way after that sort of news. Now's not the time to sulk. Now's the time to get ready. I have to ask a few townies how to find it. Red's General Store. It's certainly big, but from the outside of it, it's cluttered with crates and boxes. The glass windows are covered with hanging odds and ends and racks of jams, ointments, and candies. Also, for some reason, it makes me think of Oregon Trail, though I guess this is Oregon Trail-y. I guess we can keep going, we got 7 minutes. The combined scent of cardboard boxes, old wood, and camphor hits me as I enter through the front door. The willowy male fox with wispy graying fur and a harsh expression regards me through half-moon spectacles. And holds up a paw before I can speak. So, you're the new help, aren't you? You match the profile. He slaps me on the shoulder. Good to see. You have some meat on your bones. The hell do you eat? I blink. My greens, sir. The old fox laughs and is reedy. Bringing some all that good stuff for my girls and my boy. Skin and bones, all of them. Younger me would lay 'em all flat. Not so sure how I'd have fared against you, though, big guy. So is he, Murdock's father? Well, he's social. So, you must be red then? Grayer these days, but yeah, I am. Alfred's a bit of a mouthful. But I suppose you could call me boss, to keep things simple. I'd be happy to introduce you to the whole staff, but I suspect you'll run into everybody sooner or later. Yeah, I figure I'll manage. Here bright and early? I flinch, hearing Murdock's voice before I can see him. Morning, Murdock. Call him sir. We like to be formal around here. The old fox smiles, and Murdock nods, expressionless. Follow me, please. I turn to see if Red has anything left to say, but a new customer takes his attention, and he's torn away from us. Murdock leads me through the doorway arch, with an open curtain, I don't know why I said open, that leads me to the back room. Your pal's just as talkative as you. No, pause. I can read. Have to be in this business, and mind that you're careful when speaking to my father. His mood flips like a switch. Best avoid him unless he's absolutely necessary, if you don't want to make trouble for yourself. He doesn't seem so bad. He isn't when he's in a good mood. Be glad for that. I raise my paws and arch my eyebrows defensively. Well then, sir, what's the first thing that you have me do today, since we're going to be busy? Nothing special, really. He holds up his camera proudly. First thing we're going to do is develop the pictures for William. It do be like that sometimes. And also, that's a new image. It could be just William's thing. It can feel the back of my neck prickle. Is everything okay, Sam? Yeah, of course. It's just, I've never done anything with photography before. Are you sure you would trust me with such an important job? It'd be a shame if anything happened to your photographs. Worry less. I had to learn these techniques when I was just 6 years old. You might not pick up on anything instantly, but you will in time. Plus, I'll be doing most of the work. So many big mistakes will be on me. Come along. Begrudgingly, I do. We follow straight ahead along the wall until we arrive at a small door beneath a stairwell. Murdock opens the creaky door. I expect a small dingy closet filled with cobwebs. When I enter, Murdock flips a switch, and I'm bathed in a low red light. I notice the room is a bit bigger than I thought it would be, a bit narrow. The whole room is like a galley kitchen, with corners on both sides. Only one of us can walk each way at a time. The wall has sloping strings tacked to it. Rows of photographs, at least 100 or so, dangle from the strings, attached by clothespins. It's hotter than I would have expected in here. I can tell Murdock spends a lot of time here, considering it smells a bit like him. The fox passes me, and we side against each other, saddle. Due to the size of this room, it can't be helped, but he looks away sheepishly as he passes. First step is the most obvious. He moves the cord of his camera, from and off his neck, and fiddles with the camera, opening the switches with his digits. We have to free the film. The fox winds the knob on his camera, then plucks 2 spools from it. Then we have to develop the film. That means we have to put it in the tank to immerse in chemicals before it gets exposed to the light, or else the film will turn completely black and we'll lose our image. Some things just aren't meant to be, I suppose. Sorry, you're gonna have to go through all this trouble for nothing. But at the end of the day, you'll live. And so will I. The fox grabs the black cylindrical case from one of the counters and opens up, taking out a spool and a smaller case from inside of it. It can pull just a little bit of the film from the canister. It winds the shiny sheet in front of me, snipping some of the edge off with a pair of scissors. Ever wondered why film strips have these serrated edges? Not really. So the film can be loaded in the dark. You attach the edge of the film to the small, tan cylindrical canister with spiral openings. Once the film is loaded, you turn the sides of the discs back and forth, listen for the clicks. He pulls the film into the case. winding it slowly into the spiral. Now, hit the lights. Why? It's important. I'll tell you later, or after. I don't really like it, but I do as he says. Usually, when you turn off the lights, it's just dark, and a little bit of sunlight still dimly lights the room. But here, we're in complete darkness. Adrenaline pumps through my body as I remember the mines. I hold my hands in front of my face, and I can't see them. I listen for breathing that isn't my own, or the fox's, and I can swear I can hear it. But I can still feel Murdock's arm riveting its mine as he's fiddling with the device. I wonder for a moment if the room is soundproof. It could be a useful thing to know for in the future, just in case. I said, "You can turn the lights on now, Sam." I flip the switch back on, and we're once again in red light. Murdock is still holding a tall black canister and places it on the counter. My development tank here has a special lid. I can pour water through the top to rinse the film, soaking it. It'll prevent air bubbles during the development stage, developing. Wait for 2 minutes while Murdock stares at his pocket watch. Now we can get out our developer and fixer. The fox bends his knees to reach the cabinet below and pulls out 2 jugs. We buy both the fixer and the developer in bulk in powder form, then it's key to reuse the liquids for a while once it's prepared. Since we store the solution in these jugs, we won't have to waste time preparing a dilution of new powder mixes. Prepping for what? The fox bosses then hums. You know how when you take a jug of sweet tea and you have to let it soak for a whole day? Naturally. Well, far less of the tea diffuses if you set it in a jar for 2 minutes. That's some really weak tea. Sorry, I was just trying to think. Right. So the fixer and the developer have to be different solutions to do their job properly. He puts on a pair of rubber gloves, then opens the jug labeled D. I can read. Developer goes in first. This makes the images on the film start to appear. He flips the developed tank, emptying it of water, draining it down to a sink. The water looks dark and murky. Then, he picks up the open jug and pours it on top of the container's lid. Now, I can put it in. The developer takes 9 minutes, so we have to watch it carefully. Can't we just leave and come back later? We could, but then we'd risk overdeveloping the film, and we can lose a lot of details in the final product. That's why we have to apply the fixer after development. It stops the chemical reaction and makes the developed film permanent negative images. Makes the developed film permanent negative images. Since we have to wait 9 minutes, I suppose I can explain the dilution in dilution's more detail. Let's go back to the sweet-tea comparison. If you always measure out your sweet tea in a jar with 2 tea bags that steep for the same amount of time, you always make the same concentration of sweet tea. But if you pour the same amount of tea into a glass that's 200 milliliters, fill it up halfway, then to the 100 milliliter mark, then fill the rest with water to the 200 milliliter mark, then you'll have made the tea half as weak. I can fine-tune how strong or weak the solution is this way, and if you experiment with concentrations, sometimes it can lead to better or faster results. It's easier to make one large solution and then dilute it to make many smaller ones instead of remixing your powders every time. So, here's a question for you. Were you paying attention? Because we're going to ask you questions. If I did the dilution process so the sweet to the sweet tea 3 times, that would, what would the concentration of the new solution be compared to the first one? Okay, what was the question? Half a quarter? So, like, are we talking about 3 times? So it'd be like a half quarter, right? You're getting it. The fox checks his watch and waits a little. Now, it's been around 9 minutes. We can put it in our fixer. Carefully, he tips the development container into the jug labeled D. Just remind you that we can keep reusing a lot of these chemicals for a while. Now, I repeat the process with the fixer solution. After that, it's one last rinse of water, and our film will be ready to dry. I watch the fox go through all the motions again, until eventually he's unscrewing the top of the development tank and pulling out the tan spiral cartridge inside that held the film. Murdock unspools the film as if it were black ribbon at study ends. There's some disappointment on his face. Well, even though this isn't a scene change, we are 5-6 minutes past that mark, so, boop, it's a good time to call it. So, end of this Let's Play. So comment, cause I like comments, some you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise, if you like me, YouTube, and like see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos type of grow. Please remember to spay near your animals type control the pit population. And if you want to play this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that make this game, and or get the news version earlier, Patreon, where it's $3 a month. And I'm going to do this thing here, where I'm going to, give the people that make this game this thing that says, hey, you messed up here with its, words. You'd think that somebody would say, hey, you forgot this part here. But it do be like that sometimes. So did I say spay neuter your animals and all that stuff? I know. And until next time, another Let's Play. Me, and GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see you.